Welcome again to American Senior. I'm Kerry Glusovich. Well, baseball's in the air, America's favorite pastime. We'll be joined today by Gary Hall, who is the author of a terrific new book, Baseball Legends and Legacies. And also we'll be joined by Tito Fuentes, former star second baseman for the San Francisco Giants. So stay tuned, grab some peanuts and Cracker Jack, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to American Senior today. I'm Kerry Glusovich, and as you can see, we're at the ballpark. We're going to be welcoming in a moment Tito Fuentes, former star second baseman for the San Francisco Giants, and also Gary Hall, who has a fantastic new book. It's called Baseball Legends and Legacies. And first of all, welcome Tito to American Senior.
Very happy to be here.
Thank you. And Gary.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, great, guys. In the book, there are 25 chapters dedicated to some of these great major leaguers, primarily ball players, but there are all a couple of announcers, and also 10 of them are Hall of Famers. So first of all, I want to ask you, Gary, what motivated you to write the book?
Well, a couple things. For one, Tito Fuentes and Bobby Bonds were inspirations in my life, and they mentored me in many ways, and I wanted to document their stories, and there was a lot of other ball players that touched my lives as well. And so what I wanted to do was protect the legacies and the history of the game. Very good. And in, I guess, getting the ball players to do their inside stories, that must have been kind of a task. It was unbelievable. First of all, it was an honor because a lot of times they invited me into their homes, and they shared personal accounts that they had not shared before, and so I felt privileged that they trusted me in that perspective. I know there are many highlights in the book, Gary, but what are a couple that come to mind that are either very funny or surprising or both? For instance, like how many stitches on a baseball? Something that comes to mind is Casey Stengel. Once they asked him, when he took over the New York Mets in 1962, they asked him, they said, Casey, in your opinion, what does it take to be a successful manager? And he said, well, in my opinion, it's important to take the 5 guys that you know that don't like you and keep them completely away from the 4 that haven't made up their mind. Fantastic. Tito, I have one question first for you. Since you're an announcer and actually an analyst for the Giants currently, can I call you for some tickets?
For the Giants, well, this weekend we're going to have Boston Red Sox, and then the Dodgers come Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So those tickets are sold out. So okay. I can give you some when Washington, Pittsburgh come in town, those teams.
In other words, one of the seller teams, right?
Yes, yeah.
Tito, I have something actually to ask you. You being Cuban, how did you first come to America, and have you been able to come back and forth to Cuba since the changeover with Castro?
Well, I came, remember that movie by Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
Welcome to America. That's what I came.
Okay.
It's just a job.
I know.
Okay. No.
Keep your day job. Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I came because in '62, the Giants scouted me there, and they offered me a contract, and I signed. It wasn't that much money, but all I wanted to do is play baseball. So I came to the United States. I never went back.
Now, that was when the Giants were still playing at Seal Stadium, correct?
No.
Oh.
No, the Giants moved to, in 1960, they moved to Candlestick.
Okay.
So I came in '62.
You also hold a record, or you did until many years later, for the highest fielding percentage in baseball. And what was that?
Well, that was in 1972, 73. And the thing I like about that record, I broke it on my idol, which is Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson played for the Dodgers, which was my favorite team, and also he played second baseman. He's no doubt he was black. So all those 3 criteria made me like him so much, and I broke his record with 6 air in 900 some chances. So that gave me the percentage of 993 or 995, one of those 2.
That's an amazing story. Gary, back to you. Of all of the people in the book, many of them are Hall of Famers.
Yes.
What about Orlando Cepeda? He was one of my favorite ball players. What first comes to mind when you think of the Baby Bull?
Unbelievable clutch hitter, probably the finest clutch hitter I ever witnessed. One other thing I'd like to mention, Kerry, is that when Tito was talking about the record that he broke with Jackie Robinson and so forth, a lot of folks may not remember, but what made Tito so exceptional was he was an excellent infielder, second baseman, for sure, but he covered more ground than anyone else in the National or American League. So he had, not only did he have more opportunities, but he covered more ground, which made the chances more difficult.
Now keep in mind, and by the way, we're here speaking today with Gary Hall, author of the fantastic new book, Baseball, Legends and Legacies. Gary, hold up the book, please.
This is the cover of the Baseball, Legends and Legacies right here. And this book was just came out this week, a matter of fact.
Yeah,
okay.
And we have 24 different chapters, as you had mentioned before, and there's 10 Hall of Famers. And of course, Orlando Cepeda, one of our dear friends, the Baby Bull, he is one of the features without question.
But what I call the book, actually, it is 24 books in one, because each player that are involved here, no, I don't say players, that's a personality, because we got here announcers, we got umpires, Hall of Famers too, and they give the version of what they saw, things that you never hear before. So I call it 24 books in one.
What's amazing about the book, Baseball, Legends and Legacies, Gary, is that most baseball players are actually quite private. They want their talents to be shown on the field. So it must have been quite difficult, even though you know a lot of the players.
You know, Kerry, to be honest with you, that was one of the real shocks and surprises, and I think a lot of it had to do with, I've been around the game and a lot of the players for 40 years or so, but also because of my relationship with Tito and Orlando Cepeda. They knew that there was a real trust factor in there, so therefore I think it alleviated a lot of concerns that may have existed with someone else.
I have to ask you, and most of his career, Al Kaline was known for being with the Detroit Tigers, but he is amazing. And tell us a story or two about Al Kaline.
Well, a couple of things about Al Kaline. We both laugh because what a character he is. Yeah. But
and he seemed low-key on the field.
Very quiet.
Unbelievably low-key. As a matter of fact, Tito was telling me just the other night about how low-key he was, because Tito actually played for 1 year with the Tigers. But one thing that is often overlooked with Mr. Kaline, or Mr. Tiger as they call him around Detroit, is that he had a dubious honor of throwing out 2 players in the same inning from right field at home plate. That's incredible.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. 2 guys would run on him in the same inning trying to score. That's what's unbelievable.
And he also, how many times did he win the American League batting championship?
He won it his rookie year. And he was absolutely incredible. Al Kaline hit 399 home runs, and as I had mentioned, you know, he's Mr. Tiger.
Let's talk a moment for the inspiration for the book, as you mentioned, Bobby Bonds.
Yes. That tugs at both Tito's heart and mine. Bobby was more than a friend. He was a brother to both of us.
You lived there.
And actually, when I was a bat boy with the Los Angeles Dodgers in 1971, both Tito and Bobby became my friends. And when they found out that actually in the late portion of the year that I was homeless, Bobby was inspirational for, and he brought me to the Bay Area. And so he means a lot to me, and Tito as well. But I mean, Bobby and I spoke about, you know, actually doing this book about 5 years before he passed, and my wife encouraged me to go ahead and pursue it with Tito. So without Tito, this book would have never happened.